been wanting to make a dice mod for a while. So what I'll do in Blender is I'll use that default cube. Um, I'm going to scale it a little smaller though and pick it up off the ground. I'm going to apply all transforms and I'm going to texture it with a dice texture, which I found one on the internet. Uh, which it's not lined up. Oh wait, some damn messed up dice. So we'll go to UV editor and we'll see where our dice UVs are, and we can adjust them. So what we do is we pick a side and we just move it. So this would be the 1, and we pick that one, that would be the 4, which I need to scale that a little larger, like that. This one will be, oh, I don't know, what's that supposed to be, the 2? This should be the 5. That should be the 3. And lastly, this should be the 6. At least I think this is how they're supposed to look. Alright, so we got our texture. Now all we got to do is name the material, which is just material. So I'm just going to call it dice. And export. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. We're doing 2 dice. So you can play Snake Eyes or 7-Eleven or whatever. So we're going to duplicate this one and move it over to here. And then I think I'll just slide them both over to there. Alright, I'm going to call the first one dice 1, and I'm going to call the second one dice 2. Alright, now I'm going to export this just like it is as a DAE file in the mod folder. Maybe I should show you the folder that these go in. So in a mod, you got a folder, and inside that folder you got a mod info and you got a vehicles folder. The mod info, we'll double click on it and we'll call this dice. Actually, I'm gonna use a capital dice. We'll save this. Now we'll back out of this folder, and we got a vehicles folder. We got a folder in there called dice, and inside of here is where our texture map and our JBeam is. So this is where the mod's gonna go. I mean the model, the DAE is gonna go. So that's what I'm doing now, exporting this as a DAE into that folder, because that is a physical object that you'll see. And I'll just call it dice. I don't need to copy the textures because they're already in there. So there it goes. Now I'm going to save my file in Blender. Save as dice. Alright, now the next step is to go to edit mode with one of these. Hit A to select all. Mesh JBeam nodes connector. Alright. Now we have to go to object mode, pick the other object, go to edit mode, and do the same thing. Mesh JBeam nodes. Shit, I messed up. Edit mode, select all, mesh JBeam nodes connector. Okay. So these are the JBeams. So all I have to do now is name, with this green thing here, object data properties, we got to give each one a unique node name. So I'll just call this A for 1, and number 2 will be B. And you'll see why this matters in a second. So we'll export the JBeams. Oh, I gotta select them both. Export the JBeams. So it just exported 2 JBeam files, and it's going to stick them both in here in this export folder. So now in Notepad++, I will load both of those by just dragging them into here. And now I have also a blank JBeam file that I deleted everything in it, that so it's got to be filled out. I'll take these two and I'll drag them to other view like this. And now you see how one's got B and the other's got A. There. So here in the dice, this is the first thing you got to name your mod. So I'll name it dice. The reference nodes we'll do in a minute. So we got a mesh here. This is what's in the flex bodies is asking for the name of these two models, dice 1 and dice 2. That is what we got to put here. Dice 1, and that's going to be group A. And I'll just copy this and paste it and just call this one dice 2. And it'll be group B. So then we go down to the nodes. That's these first groups of numbers and stuff. So underneath the weight, which is not going to be 20, it's going to be like 1. And the friction coefficient, I'm going to just make this like 0.5. Actually, maybe 0.7. Well, yeah, maybe 0.7. Node material is going to be, I don't know. I think it's NM underscore, but I ain't 100% sure. I'll come back to this. I'll leave it blank for now. That's just the sound it makes. Which I was just going to put plastic, but I forgot the naming method. I think it's NM underscore or something. Or I don't know. I gotta look again. So we got group A, and we got to have copy, paste. We got group A and group B. So group A, we'll start here. We'll grab all these nodes. There ain't that many. And we just drag them and drop them in group A. Then we grab group B's nodes and drag and drop them into group B. The next thing are the beams. Underneath the beam strength and all that stuff, we'll take the node, the beams, we'll drag them and drop them into there. Now you don't have to put a divider after this like you do, the nodes group A and group B. You can just put these one after the other. So now we'll put the nodes there. And then lastly, we got the collision triangles. So we'll put the triangles in there. And then we'll put the triangles from the other one in there. Just like that. We'll save this. And in the node beam editor, we will load the dice into here, which there they are. I will say show node names, so there's our names. Now we're going to put the reference nodes. I know it's hard to see this, but in between these parentheses there, I'm going to put BL0, BL0, and for the back, I'm going to put BR2. The left, I'm going to put AL0, and the top is going to be BL1. Being the top, that's the reference, that's the left, and the back is behind. So that's the behind, that's the left, and that's the reference node, and that's the one above it. The camera distance, I'm only going to tell the camera to be like 8.5 away. And now I'm going to, let me check the beam spring. I'm going to make this stronger. The dampening, maybe 130. Save, and let's give this thing a go and see what it does. Am I missing anything? I'm missing a material file. That's what I'm missing. Which for some reason, it's not in here. Alright, let me just snag one up from something else and stick it in there. Let's see, snow, we'll use this one. I don't know where it went. Well, anyway, there it is. So we'll change this to dice. Dice. And I'll take all this out. For now, I'm just going to use the base color map, and that's just dice.dds, which is this dice.dds. And we'll take this out. And basically all this. They don't have any of these other maps. Ground model type, I'm not even going to put one in there for that. And let's save. And let's check our mod, see if it works. Oh, I didn't make a preview picture. We can do that in a minute. Make sure it loads. Then we'll try that. Free roam grid. Hopefully I didn't mess up something. Oh, well, hell. I guess I gotta move them into the game folder, don't I? Alright, so in the unpack folder, I can't believe I forgot that. Alright, I gotta put the mod in the unpack folder. Now it should work. Yeah, here's a game called 7-11 where you roll the dice and they got to bounce off the wall, and if your number is a 7 or an 11, you're a winner. People bet money on that. Bet like $50, $100 on a 7 or an 11. If they get it, they win. If they don't, they lose it. I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play the other games with dice. But that is one I know. on me. Well, there's one dice. There's the other dice. Alright, they're not lined up into your J-beams, or they're actually on top of one another. So I can look at the J-beams. The J-beams are right, but the models are wrong. So let me do this. Set origin to 3D cursor, object set origin, apply all transforms. Export DAE. Let's overwrite these real quick. Mods, unpack dice, and make a shortcut here. Vehicles, dice. Actually, make a shortcut there. Alright, export. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to convert these back to actually, you know what? We can make these work with PBR. I'm going to do something real fast with the texture though. Alright, in my texture editor, I'm going to load those dice, that image. Let me navigate to the mod folder, unpack, dice, vehicles, dice. Alright, so I'm going to make a normal map. Which is going to give it a little 3D-ish looking texture. Filters, generic, normal map. Okay. Now I'm going to export this as _n for normal. Now normal maps get BC5 compression and generate bitmaps. Alright, now I'm going to tell the mode to be grayscale, and I'm going to invert the colors, and I'm going to save that as a specular. I'm just going to put a little S for specular. This will be a BC1 compression type. Alright, now I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to do a high pass filter, which will be the detailed map. Enhance high pass. Okay. File export as, and I'll put an HP for high pass. BC1 compression. And let's see what we can do with that. So we load up the material editor with our dice selected. So we'll plug in a base color detail map, which will be, hold on, navigate there to it. Actually, I think I can. No, it's not gonna let me navigate to it like that. Oh well. Mod, unpack, dice, vehicles, dice. I was thinking I could select those and drop those in there, but I can't. But I'm gonna copy this so I don't have to keep navigating to it. So there's the high pass filter. That's the detail. The normal map. Let's do the normal map. Normal detail map. Do the same normal map. And see what else am I missing? Palette. I'm gonna just use the same image for the ambient occlusion. I might be better off with Material 1. PBR, I mean not PBR. Let's see, get up close to these and look. See, this doesn't, they're not dark enough there. This is probably something I don't quite fully understand with PBR. Let me just revert to 1. Because I know how they're going. I know how it's going to look in here. Speculative, advanced, detail, minor. What am I missing? Too much reflectivity. Use speculative for the reflectivity. Alright, we're getting there. You can see there's kind of a low res texture there for that dice. Yeah, like that. I like that there. There we go. We got a little reflectivity at the level. In these dice. I'll save it. Yeah, let's see how these dice work. Did we just lock up? No, we didn't. Never know with this thing. And why these things didn't spawn in the air, I do not know. I guess you have some more bounce. What do y'all think? I can fix that. We can go back and add more bounce. That would be the friction coefficient. Let's put 1.5. See how that does. Save. Now we have to just reload the level. I love this new main menu. It allows you to do this real quickly, so you know it saves a lot of time. Nice. Why they spawn on the damn? I don't know why they spawned in the air. I saved them in the air. Well, we got a little more bounce. I mean, I don't know how much bounce we really need. You throw the dice, shouldn't they roll around a little more than that? Let's see. Let's put 2.5. Let's change the weight to 0.4. Oh yeah, the damping. They shouldn't have any much damping. I don't think. Alright, let's see how this does. Well, they are lighter, but I can't see that they really are bouncing. They do kind of roll pretty good, I guess. Alright, so how are we going to get these things in a way that, what if they were in a cup and you could like turn the cup upside down and the dice kind of fall on the floor? That's what I'm kind of thinking about making, but I'm not going to make that now. I think I'm going to just zip this up and share it for anybody that wants to mess with these dice.